Alrighty, the STOCK Caernarvon, the carnival, stock to shock, what do you want to call it? It's an absolute shocker, stock, I tell you that. I've kind of reached this point in Blitz whereby a lot of the tanks I've got are tier 9, tier 10 stock, and I've got 153,000 credits and no money to spend on upgrades. And you know, this is the reality of Blitz. It's not pay to play, but it is. So they have it. So I've got to play the Caernarvon stock, and there's nothing to it. So I played 5 games and I lost them all. And this is one of said losses. Then I got to about 20 games and I'm now on 45%. Most of the games I lost were at the start where I was playing at stock. And I came to the conclusion, because you're playing in tier 8, right? Or sometimes tier 9. So you've got really strong tanks in tier 7 for a start. You've got Helsing, you've got Drac, you've got all that. And then you've got tier 8 itself, which is just full of OP sort of premium monsters now. So it's a very tough tier anyway. And then of course you can be up to tier 9 with a stock gun where you've got no chance. So it's kind of murder, and I'm not complaining about that at all. I just wanted to show some gameplay where you can see a stock Caernarvon and how kind of hard it is to make money with it. Well, you won't make money, that's for sure, but to just win the damn thing. So the first thing that I noticed, my advice to you if you ever have the misfortune to grind the stock because you don't have the credits or gold just to upgrade it, is like do the turret first. Now I know that sounds proper dumb. People would say, well, do the tracks or do the engine. No. Do the turret first. I'll tell you for why, and it's nothing to do with ridge fighting or tactics or anything like that. If you drive a stock Caernarvon with the stock turret, good players will immediately know your tank is stock, and they will just come for you. They'll come for you. They will come for you. They're going to rip you to pieces as you're trying to play your distance game, using the accuracy of your gun, doing all the good stuff you should be doing. Good players will look at your stock Caernarvon, they'll look at the turret straight off and go, right, free damage, take that boy. So look, get turret gun first, because even then if you don't have the top gun, the top tracks, the whatever, then you've got a little bit more, I don't know what description is, fear factor. The second thing with the turret is it does make a real difference to the tank, because you can start to, I mean, if you're not in Himmelsdorf, you can start to ridge fight with it, which is good, and it makes the tank a lot more low profile, because the stock turret, if you look at it, it's like the one on the Excelsior or a Churchill or something. It's horrendous at this tier, this turret. Alright, so as you can see, I've kind of done my best to hold that flank and make the shots that I can. I'm going to take this Panther out because he's low hit points, and he's also from the Pink Fluffy Unicorns clan, and he's had a great game, so I want him out of the game because I know that he's a dangerous player. But then you'll note that we're on new premises, and I'm just thinking, oh, please don't push the Borsig, Panther, don't. Like, we're way down on points anyway, but like, just wait for me, dude, just no. Anyway, he was doing his best, I know, it's fine. So I'm going to start putting fire into the Borsig, and you can see I'm not hitting, it's not a lot of damage, high rolls like 169, I'm using APCR, I'm just firing anything I've got at this guy. The stock gun, there's a lot of, it depends on it, if you look at a lot of tanks, not Borsig for God's sake, but if you look at most tier 9 tanks you see with the stock gun, you've got no hope. Just at the end there, the E25 was a one-shot, and that's just sod's law, isn't it? So that was one of my first 5 games. I lost all 5. I think that was like, I was beginning to think, well, I can't do a lot more, but yeah, it's not good. 0% win rate after 5 games. Like, yeah, this ain't going well. Anywho, I took my own advice in a lot of ways. I finally got enough XP to get the decent turret on the tank. And it already had like 1 engine up because of some other tech tree line, so got a bit of mobility and the non-stock turret on the tank, and I started to play a little bit more cautiously as well, because it's not really a frontline tank. I mean, obvious to say, I wasn't trying to frontline it before. What I found was that people would just see that my Caernarvon was stock, and it wouldn't matter where I was on the map, they'd just make for me and do me, you know. What's that? Okay, so we're going to push around right here because the team has made that decision, and I don't lead out in this tank generally. I just wait to see what the team are going to do, and then kind of follow them in support. And you kind of want those big dogs, those defenders, those KVs, the sort of big Russian heavy tanks or whatever, to be in front of you, and then basically sit behind them and farm up. And you can see what a difference the turret makes. It's much lower profile and it's bloody tough. And then you can sit on a ridge like this and use the accuracy and gun depression to do kind of great things if you can aim like me. So, and that's kind of what I'm doing. I wanted to share this game not because it's huge damage, although I do a fair amount in all fairness with a stock gun. It's to show the bounces you can get now. So that was into the turret. The turret is much tougher. I've got the stock turret there. I reckon that's kind of going to go in. And the second thing is that this tank, although it doesn't have much of a reputation for having reliable armour, if you angle it, and after you played it, if you angle it just kind of like that, and you jink the top plate around, and you've got pretty much. I'll do it again in a minute. If you jink the front of the tank around and just angle it ever so slightly so your arm's not flat, you'll get a lot of bounces. It really does have a very strange turret and top plate and armour profile. It's typically British. It's made of goodwill and fluffy unicorn rainbows, but ultimately you'll get a surprising amount of bounces, and you can see in this game. I mean, fair enough that the flaming thing which just pounded me there is OP anyway, the object, but yeah, fair enough. I've got 1.4k in bounces, and it's not like I've sat back all game and just farmed damage. I have like put my tank in harm's way, and I've taken on some pretty nasty heavy tanks there and just used my DPM and a little bit of, there you go, there's another one, a little bit of deceit and treachery and a little bit of jiggle and wiggle to get some bounces, and we're going to win this game. And it's kind of funny, going back to the title of the video, it is sort of stock to shock, because the moment you start to get the crew skills up, the moment you start to get the decent turret on it, or you actually get the tracks, so you get the traverse. I've already got pretty good crew skills because obviously I've played the game a long time. This tank suddenly becomes strongly viable, and I really like the tank. I mean, I really like the tank. It's a great tank. It's just the sort of murderousness of grinding a stock tank in the modern world. Because of all the OP premium tanks out there, when you get in a tech tree tank, it's kind of harder anyway most times. If you get in a stock tech tree tank and you just want to do the honest thing and grind it because you don't have a contributor account and 52 million in gold because you've got two kids, a wife and a dog, and you're skinters the whole time, then that is the reality. You're going to be grinding things like the Caernarvon, and it's bloody hard work, but strangely, rewarding to do it properly. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. See ya. Bye.